Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the most OP Gale build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. Now, Gale is an interesting character because he is a wizard, so we're going to keep him a wizard. But the wizard isn't as strong as this class I got prepared for us today. And what does Gale's name mean? It's part of a storm, so I think Storm Sorcerer actually makes a lot of sense here. Now, Gale actually seems like he was born with magic from the lore of Baldur's Gate 3, so Sorcerer does make sense, because sorcerers are born with magic. Although he does like to riff on people that are sorcerers, he's probably a wild magic-ish sorcerer himself, but I'm going to go with the tempest, or go with potentially tempest cleric, but also the Storm Sorcerer. So with this, we're going to go for cantrips. I think Shocking Grasp was great for taking away reactions if we need to get away right quick. Ray of Frost is also nice, but Minor Illusion works really well too because we can group enemies together for attacks. Mage Hand's another great consideration too, but as for our spells, two really important ones here. So we always want to have Shield. That's going to give us a +5 to our armor class and also take no damage from Magic Missile. And Magic Missile, guaranteed damage is really nice early on, especially if we need to take out enemies with low health. Find Familiar is probably one of the best level 1 spells just because it can tank a hit. We can go with the Raven, it can fly around and scout for us. Chromatic Orb for choosing a damage type, which is nice. We can take Thunderwave, but we'll get it later on. Witch Bolt is okay too, especially if we go with the Tempest Cleric. So I'm going to take it. Most people hate Witch Bolt, but if we can guarantee the maximum amount of damage on this thing, it actually hits really hard. Fog Cloud's nice too, but we're going to get this else how. Long Strider's another consideration we can go with, but we can always learn spells from scrolls. As for our ability scores, I think something like this works well. Now, Wisdom, obviously we want to get that up higher, but we're not going to be casting many spells that use Wisdom, so 10 Strength, 8 Dexterity, use the Dexterity Gauntlets. That is my recommendation. Getting those early on is imperative, because we can put these on Gale, and then we can put our stats elsewhere, because this build does use multi-attributes. 14 Constitution, 16 Intelligence, and 16 Charisma, because this is going to be... We're going to add in the Sorcerer, but this build actually gets extremely powerful, so hear me out on it. It's probably the most powerful build that we can get with like a Wizard Sorcerer dip. So we're actually going to now dip out. We can add in the Tempest Cleric here so that we don't have Wisdom as our main stat, but I think for the purpose of this, we'll just add it in at the end. But if you're doing this, add 2 levels of Tempest Cleric, because that'll allow us to do the maximum amount of damage with our lightning spells, which it gets crazy. I'll show you. But for the leveling purposes, I guess show you 2 different builds that we can go with. Now for this, we can also take Flame Bolt, which is nice to have, and Bone Chill. Mage Hand is also great because you can use this to throw water bottles. And then something like Acid Splash, not the worst choice ever. Not something we're going to use often. But as for our spells that we're going to learn here, it doesn't say that we have Shield there, but we do have Shield. It says we have False Life, which we don't. It's kind of weird, but... yeah, for our spells, we're going to get Fog Cloud and Thunderwave a little bit later on. So, Ice Knife can be an okay one, and Mage Armor just for the extra armor that we'll get from this. And Storm Sorcerer allows us to fly as a bonus action after casting a spell. And at level 6, we get pretty much these spells that I was talking about. So, it gets really strong, guys. We're able to maximize the amount of damage. We can do 160 damage with the Chain Lightning later on, which gets pretty busted. Now, I'm not sure why Shield's not popping up there, so I'm going to take it, but you can also go with, like, I mean, Sleep's good early on, or Thunderwave, but we'll get those. Distance Spell increases it at spell range, and Twin Spell allows us to Twin Haste on ourselves, which is really nice. Twin Haste allows you to take an extra action. If you're not on Honor Mode, your fighter can fight up, or do attacks up to 9 times per turn with Haste and Action Surge, so that's really great. Now for our level 2 spells, I think that Scorching Ray is a great choice, and we already kind of have the bonus action Teleport with our Fly after casting a spell. So Misty Step isn't as important, so you can go with something like Hold Person, which allows us to hold the enemy, but we're going to go Scorching Ray for damage. Quicken Spell, spells that cost an action, cost a bonus action instead. This is the bread and butter of why the Sorcerer is so powerful. Being able to cast 2 spells per turn is really good. And then at the next level, we get another cantrip. You're not going to use Friends, but we'll take that there just in case you want to use it. And then we'll also take Hold Person. As you can see, we have a lot of these spells already. Hold Person is really nice because we can hold enemy in place. It says we already have this build, but we don't. It's weird. I don't know why it's glitching out on that. Now, for our feat, Warcaster to be able to get advantage on saving throws, the whole concentration is really great early on, as well as a reaction, Shocking Grasp. But if you take the Amulet of Greater Health later on, you can also get the advantage on Constitution saving throws. So I think an ability score improvement to take our Charisma up is just the best choice, because most of our stats will be in the Sorcerer to give us the maximum amount of damage. Again, the Sorcerer, Gale, it makes sense from a name perspective. He is obviously a wizard, so that's why we started wizard, but I think he is born magic, so that's why we went sorcerer. At level 5 here, we get some next level spells, and I think that lightning bolt is a great choice here. 8d6 lightning damage that can be doubled with create water. Super useful, so we're going to go with that there, because the damage potential in this build gets crazy. At level 6, this is where we get our call lightning, which is a nice, if we don't have many spell slots, you can use call lightning, and this is a concentration, you can continually call lightning. It does upwards of 60 damage with create water. Sleet Storm upsets concentrations, which is huge. Gust of Wind can push creatures off of ledges. Creator Destroy Water. This is the big one here. We could also get it from the Tempest Cleric, but if not, we got it here. And Thunder Wave, which is why I didn't take Thunder Wave earlier. And it says we already have Haste for some reason. This may be just the spells I have scribed, but Haste is really useful. Get an extra action, become faster, and +2 to armor class. Fireball is another consideration. Fireball is really strong, even though it doesn't fully fit the theme of this build. It can still be a great one if you have enemies grouped together. So at next level, we also have Wall of Fire and Ice Storm that are great choices, but we can also upcast a Fireball for more damage, because this will deal more damage than the other spells. So we're going to go with that. And Counterspell is a fair consideration here. It can stop a spell from being cast. I like to have this on a Bard as well if you can get the magical secrets, but we'll go with that, with Counterspell being another choice that we got there. And at Sorcerer level 8, we get ourselves another spell here. So Ice Storm can be a good one. I guess we have more sorcery points too. Ice Storm or Wall of Fire. I think Ice Storm is great for creating ice surfaces, but even Counterspell can be good too, so you can go that route. And as for our feat, this is where things can go either way, because we could go with obviously like going Warcaster is nice, but I think even just increasing our charisma even further is a good choice here, or increasing our intelligence, because we're going to cast some of our spells with intelligence, so having a high amount of intelligence is a good choice, so we'll go with that there. Again, we should have added in the Tempest Cleric earlier, because we're going to go up to here, and this is the final level of Wizard, or of Sorcerer. Cone of Cold for a charisma-based Cone of Cold is really great. Very high damage with 8d8 cold, which is doubled in water for a potential of 128 damage. Hold Monster is another really nice spell, but Cone of Cold just by far the best choice here. And now at level 10, you can continue on. You would take Hold Monster and take another Meta Magic heightened spell, but again, adding in the Tempest Cleric makes this really strong. So we'll just take these for our cantrips. Tempest Domain gives us a reaction, so 2 to 16 lightning damage is a reaction if we get hit by an attack. We also get Fog Cloud and Thunder Wave, which we already have. For deity, pick what you want. Talos makes sense here for destructive forces of nature. And we know we prepare one spell. We already have our Creator Destroy Water, so Healing Word's actually quite nice, because this can, if you have a teammate that went down, you can use a bonus action to pick them back up with this. And Sanctuary is another choice, so bonus action, go with Healing Word or Sanctuary, your choice. And at level 2, this is where we get our big boost. So the Destructive Wrath, when you roll thunder or lightning damage, you can use your Channel Divinity to deal maximum damage instead. That gets pretty good. And then for our next level spell, Sanctuary. So yeah, that Channel Divinity is extremely powerful and lets us take like a Chain Lightning. I think I have a Chain Lightning scroll here. I might have used it. We'll see here. So with this, we do need to scribe our wizard spells. So we already have our 2 cleric ones, and we got all of our sorcerer spells. But for our wizard spells, we can scribe a single spell here. So we already got Chain Lightning there. So going into our inventory, 2 that I would recommend. Conjure Elemental is so powerful, because this can be a water elemental that can set up vulnerability to cold damage, or it can be a Water Myrmidon, which can apply water to everyone. So we're going to learn this spell here. Very nice. We got Conjure Elemental now. We can take some of the other spells if you want to cast some intelligence, like Cone of Cold, Lightning, or Ice Storm there. I don't see my Chain Lightning scroll here. We got Thunderbolt if we want to cast that with Lightning. Lightning Bolt, I mean. The Annals of Karsus. Yeah, I don't know where I have my Chain Lightning scroll, but Chain Lightning would be the spell that we want to be casting with our Channel Divinity, because the Chain Lightning damage gets incredibly strong. So I don't have it in my inventory, but what we want to be doing when we get into combat is we want to have our Conjure Elemental set up. So we've got to prepare that spell, put that on. So we have our Find Familiar, which is a great early game tanking. And then we also have different things like we can take Magic Missile there, or Witch Bolt, which Witch Bolt will be like our highest damage option because I don't have Chain Lightning on here, but I'll just show you what that can potentially do. So typically we want to set up with our Create Water, so we can use this to apply water to a group event. A group will attack the team here just to show it off. And then we can go with our Lightning Bolt here, which will do a ton of damage. So we can go with the Destructive Wrath, which would make it deal 96 damage, which would take out Hereis and Halsin there. But we can also go with the Heart of the Storm as our reaction, which makes it very strong. So, and we also have, I guess I should talk about gear. We have the ability to set up Radiating Orbs as well. So I also have the Spell Crux Amulet on here because this is a pretty powerful option to go with too, because you can restore a spell slot. We have 21 armor class. We can even take that further. I have the Ketheric Shield there for the increase to our spell attack rolls, but even Viconia's Shield will give us 22 armor class. Hood of the Weave for a +2 to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. That's massive. You could also go the Intelligence Circlet if you want to, but I think it's better to have high intelligence. Armor class +1, saving throw +1. Robe of the Weave for +2 armor class, +1 spell save DC. Gloves of Dexterity give us an increase to our dexterity, keep us from dying because our armor class will get that +4 dexterity. Evasive Shoes, and I want markoheshkir because this is also, I guess, a way we can get Chain Lightning. So this is really great because we can also go, if everyone lost their Create Water, so we'll just reapply Create Water. And then we can go with the Kareska's Favor, Bolts of Doom here, and this is really great because then it'll give us the ability to cast Bolts of Doom on ourselves. This gives us the ability to do Chain Lightning, so I guess we'll go turn-based mode here, and you used to be able to twin this. I guess we can still twin it. Sometimes it doesn't work. So we got it applied there. And I'll go Will there. And then we can go Destructive Wrath. Now, this is going to make it the maximum amount of damage. So 168, 168. That's crazy. If it hits the target, it demolishes them. So, yeah, that gets really crazy. 168 damage is just nuts. So, yeah, we took them out and missed Halsin, but he's still electrocuted. Friggin' nuts. 168 damage is very powerful, and then we also got our our lightning bolt here for extra damage. So, very powerful. That's crazy. It hits hard, and it also stacks of radiating orbs. So, yeah, we got multiple ways to hit the enemy. And then we also have our Conjure Elemental there. Water Elemental is my preferred choice. But we can also go with like an Arcane Battery, which is nice. So we can get a free cast of a spell. So I guess Shadowheart has the most health there. So we can take... She's not Create Watered. I was going to say another word there. But we'll go Create Water to apply Wet Condition. And then we'll go with our upcast from Arcane Battery. We can go Witch Bolt, level 6. And that's going to hit pretty hard too. 72 damage. If we had the ability to add in our, I guess, modifier, we can also apply that again. Jeez, she's flopping around there. That was hilarious. Yeah, huge amount of damage. We can just continually activate the Witch Bolt. And I guess it didn't work again, but it hits hard. That's another choice we can go with. And we still haven't even used our level 6 spell slot, so we could do another Chain Lightning if we had it scribed there. Very strong. And then we can also apply it to enemies. So I guess we'll play Duke Elder Ravengard here just to give us a further showing of what's possible with this. And then normally we do Chain Lightning, but only 65% hit chance. And we missed, of course. But it gets really strong, so that's one of the most fun parts about this build is the amount of damage that you can get. And you can also, a little pro tip, is if you have the Shield of Devotion, you can use this level 1 spell slot to create sorcery points with if you really want to cheese it. So you can use that to create sorcery points from your spell slots, and then you can use your sorcery points to recreate spell slots and get back your level 6 spell. So there's ways to make this even stronger. I think this is probably the most powerful version of Gale. Lightning damage is so useful, as you guys know. So yeah, there is the most OP Gale build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.